Emily Smith-Rowe and Reece Nelson look ready for City, and Mikel Arteta has gone ahead and really talked about lots of things as he really hinted onto what he's so much anticipating into the game of Arsenal versus Manchester City. He has also hinted of him wanting to win, however, Manchester has never won any fixture against his former manager or his former boss at Manchester City. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from, smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe, smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time we do upload a video onto our channel. Not so guys, thank you very much. I love you guys and happy Valentine's Day. And I think it's always better not to celebrate this one day only. I think it's always good to celebrate this day on a daily. If at all you're in a relationship with your lover, let every day feels like the Valentine, because why should you do unusual things for your partner or to your partner that you can't do on a daily? You get? I think you need to act sweet and good always and always and always. But we who do sports, our Valentines are the teams we support. My sports Valentine is Manchester United. That's it. So those that support Arsenal, I know your sports Valentine is Arsenal, and after Valentine, they are playing Man City tomorrow, and the manager has really gone ahead to value you with some good news in here onto the Rokani Media Football. And he said on the team news of Arsenal versus Manchester City that everybody that we heard from the previous game is available so far, unless something strange happens today. We are looking forward to it. Now, he said on whether Smith-Rowe will be available beside, I'll write the list now, so I will take that decision. Now, Smith-Rowe was expected to return on the game of Brentford, but I think the manager never wanted to hurry him back because he has Trossard in and knows Trossard can play into that position. But good news is that none of the Arsenal players that were available for the game of Brentford is really out. All of them are really physically fit and ready to go on and take on City at the Emirates. Now, who are really out? According to what the manager is telling us, all those that never took part into the game of Brentford are really out. Jesus, Emily Smith-Rowe, Reece Nelson, El Nini. Now, as the manager has confirmed to us about Reece Nelson and Emily Smith-Rowe, that is going to write the list. And that shows you that he's really available, because last time when they asked him towards the game of Brentford, he mentioned that Reece Nelson is not really ready and he needs some more. No, I think he's talked about Reece Nelson and Emily Smith-Rowe, that Emily Smith-Rowe is really a player that is just back from injury and he thinks that he needs some time, but it's not going to be available for the game of Brentford. That's what the manager really had to say about that game of football as far as Reece Nelson is concerned. But when you look at the replay today, it looks like Reece Nelson is available for the game for the game of City and Emily Smith-Rowe. And for Emily Smith-Rowe, it's really a very good boost for Arsenal. If at all you know what I'm talking about, he's a different kind of player altogether. And I believe that in games where you're playing teams like City, who really give you spaces for you to operate, I think it's a favorable game for Emily Smith-Rowe, and Emily Smith-Rowe has a reputation of really haunting big teams. I've seen him score against Liverpool, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, and very many others. He has an eye for goal, and I believe none of the midfielders that are really playing in that midfield of Arsenal that can outscore him, if at all he's really having a very good season, not disturbed by injuries. Because I believe if at all he was not disturbed by injuries, he would have been playing more and more games for Arsenal compared to what he did last season, because last season injuries were not part of his career, and obviously he scored in very many goals. And I think he outscored Bukayo Saka, if at all I'm not mistaken, in the Premier League. He scored very, very many goals, and that is Emily Smith-Rowe. If at all he's back for the game of City, I think that is really a very huge boost for all Arsenal fans all over the world, because it is music to the ears of every Arsenal fan all over the world. But Jesus, not yet ready for return. And El Nini is another one who is out. We don't know when he's going to return because he underwent any injury. And looks like he might even leave in the summer to go ahead and really play for Aston Villa. And Arsenal have an option here I don't know whether they're going to trigger it, but I think he's one of those that is going to quit Arsenal as a free agent. Having brought in Jorginho, that means El Nini has really dropped down into the picking order of Arsenal, and we don't expect him to come in through to do the needful for the club of Arsenal. So smash the like button, and let's get to the next thing that the manager really talked about in this press conference, because I've picked out some, and I think the last video of the day is going to be about other stories that we hinted about into this story, as he hinted about what Arsenal are really expectant of. Then Arteta was asked on never having beaten Pep Guardiola before. He said, it's for the team, the club, and where we are. For me personally, it's not about beating one manager. It's about beating the next opponent, and in this case, it is City. So he is confirming to us that however much has not beaten Pep Guardiola, winning a trophy is not about beating one manager. It's about beating the next opponent. Now, the opponent that is in the eyes of Arsenal, or in the eye of Arsenal, is City. And this time round, City faces a different Arsenal altogether. I believe Arsenal has been off for a very long time. And by the time he came in through, that is Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, Arsenal were really going through a drastic change. Now, I think after with 3 years at the club, I think he has made it happen. He has built a squad and is trying to work on his bench. At least you know that you will be having Jorginho, Trossard, you're having Jakub Kivior, Emil Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, Edin Nketiah, if at all Gabriel Jesus returned. So I think in his first 3 years, he was building the first team. After building the first team, he found himself trying to build a bench. That's why he brought in 3 players in the January transfer window, and they are really so much important for the club of Arsenal. And as the way things are really moving at Arsenal, I believe they are really enjoying what they are seeing, and he is really ready to go on and really take a game to Manchester City. And last season, I believe Arsenal really outplayed Man City at Emirates. And I think this time around, they're having a much more strong side with Saliba in the central defense. Odegaard is a different kind of player altogether. Xhaka, though he really got a red card in the opening game of Arsenal versus City last season, but I believe he's a different kind of player altogether. The likes of Fabio Vieira are on the bench. He's having very many options that can come in and thrive into that game of football, because the game of City is never all about physicality. It's all about who utilizes his chances, because Pep Guardiola will allow you have that ball and obviously press you. He gets it, but his press is not as intense as that of Mikel Arteta's. Arteta's press is really far much better than that of Pep Guardiola. So I believe he's hinting about it in a very good way and answering questions in a very good way. Then he went ahead to add more to that. When he was asked about on whether City's style will suit Arsenal, he said, I hope so. Obviously, they have totally different qualities and the game styles, but every team faces difficult challenges. And asked on being against Guardiola on the touchline, he said, I want to win tomorrow. So we are really trying to add these two. And to add them up, if we add them up, you see to it that he's talking about the City style. And I believe if they are telling Arsenal to play City and Man City, I think every Arsenal fan will say let's play City, because City won't make it hard for you going forward. Arsenal will always pass that ball through the central midfield with Thomas Partey into that engine room. Then he goes ahead to do the needful and really release the likes of Odegaard, Saka, and very many others. In other words, City will always give you spaces to operate, something that Brentford won't really go ahead to do for you. Brentford won't come in through to give you room to operate. They will always run after you, be physical, go for the long balls. That's not what City is going to go in for. City will like an open game. You get total football. Score me, I score you. If I told you defend better, you win the game of football. That's what Arteta is really talking about City, and the style really suiting them better. But he's saying he wants a win tomorrow. He wants to win against Pep Guardiola for the very first time in the Premier League. That's what Mikel Arteta is really anticipating into this game of Arsenal versus Manchester City. Then on City's biggest threat to Arsenal, the gaffer of Arsenal said they are a team. What they have done in the last 6 years, they absolutely merit it. On the pitch and the way they play, the way they have completed, the way they've competed, and how they have gone through difficulties. That's what he said. So they deserve the merit on how they play. Then he couldn't and said, for us, the challenge is to get to that level. We need to use that challenge and that energy to say, this is where we want to be. That is the level, and we are heading towards it. And he's so much positive about this. And I believe he deserves to be having the positivity and carrying it in high esteem. Because even City, they never woke up from one day or from day one and found themselves winning the Premier League. They never. It was really a struggle from 2006 when Shinawatra brought them through until the Abu Dhabi Prince came in through and really bought Man City. That's it. And I believe it's really something important to note that Arteta has really used 3 years to see to it that it turns around Arsenal. But City, they deserved to change very many managers and inject a lot of money to see to it that they really win the trophy. But I think Arsenal is injecting some good money, but I think the money is really giving them benefit on return, because I think the only player they've gone into getting and flopped was only Willian. That's it. You get? But the rest of the players that Arsenal have really gone ahead to bring in have really gone ahead to do the needful and really win. So I think, however much City's biggest threats have been mentioned by the manager Mikel Arteta, but I believe he has done a better job now for me. And I think it's now left in the hands of the players that show me your mentality, prove to me that you are ready to knock City out, to get City out of the way and really hit them bad, to see to it that their attitude gets to know that Arsenal is just the only team fit to win the league. And how do you do that? Beat them tomorrow at the Emirates. And that's what Mikel Arteta is calling or advocating for in that fixture of Arsenal versus Manchester City. Then he had to say the following, that Arteta on what he expects from the Emirates crowd tomorrow, that is the fans. He said, we will play with 15 players tomorrow. They are so into it with every single ball and giving us energy and support. And basically everything they have been doing, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Beautiful night on a really special day. So hitting of playing with 15 players tomorrow, I think he's trying to even elevate it from the fans being the 12th player to being 15 or the 15th player, meaning that he's referring to the fans or equating to the fans to 4 players, because they keep the crowd going. Even if Arsenal concedes, the fans keep really cheering up. Remember when Saliba really scored himself an own goal, what he did was the following. He went in through and really said, all right, I've scored myself, but the fans started to chanting Saliba, 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 Saliba. So that shows you how good this crowd is, and that's why Mikel Arteta is talking about 15 players, meaning that he sees football players in the crowd at Emirates of 60,000 fans that are really going to be cheering behind those players of Arsenal while on the field of play tomorrow. Then Mikel Arteta on whether he agrees Arsenal are the best team so far this season. He said, well, the table says we have the most points to be the best team in the league. Obviously, there is still another 4 months to go, and we have to prove that every single game. Literally, he's telling you that the table is showing that, and what you've asked, it's yes, because he's telling you that the table shows it to be the best team in the league. Obviously, there is still another 4 months to go, but they've not asked him until the end of the season. They've asked Mikel Arteta whether Arsenal is the best team in the league so far, and he's obviously giving you an answer of a yes, but in a more proverb way that you need to dig for the information deep inside the story. And I believe that lots of people would like to know, what is it all about for Arsenal being the best team in the league? Obviously the best team in the league because they're topping the table, and Man City is 3 points behind them, yet they've not yet played a game they have in hand, and if at all they win it, they will be 6 points ahead of City. So if Arsenal win tomorrow, they will be 6 points ahead of City. They win their game in hand, that puts them to 9. So I believe Arteta is really one of those managers that really is good at really replying questions. He's giving yes that they are the best team in the league. And even Pep Guardiola hinted about it, that right now Arsenal are the best team in the league. And I saw very many Arsenal fans say that he's playing mind games. He's not playing mind games. Now, do you think City is the best team in the league? It's not. City is struggling. And there is a video I'm trying to do of Arsene Wenger coming out and really letting us know how weak a team of Man City is, according to how they've been last season. And that's based on the players they've lost and how they are really trying to get in new players who have failed to hit the ground running at Etihad Stadium. Now, lastly, Ten Hag asked on whether the Premier League should implement semi-automatic offside. He said, "I don't know if that will come, and there are many decisions around it. We started the season this way, and maybe there will be changes in the summer. I don't know that the plan is for that." So, how does this come into play? This comes into play after Arsenal had a goal given to Brentford that saw them lose 2 points. And Arteta has been furious today in the press conference, hinting on how the VAR went ahead to do things that should be really punishable for, but that does not guarantee that Arsenal is going to get back its 2 points. He said if at all they apologized and they admitted their mistake and they're going to give us our 2 points we lost, that would have been important. But right now, it's no longer near important because they cannot get us those points. But he is really still fuming about that VAR decision. He said even that when they went with the players and rewatched that video, they were really fuming and they really lost their heads because they saw how Lee Mason failed to draw those lines. And why did he even have to? Why did he even have to forget to do his job? And I would like to read something here that really excited me about Mikel Arteta on how we referred to him, that's not a glitch. Where is it? When I see the reaction that Howard Webb and the PGMOL and the Premier League had and genuine it was, with that anger, they want to do the best they can and they understand everything that is at stake. I think at the end it will help. Hopefully we can use that to make the game better. So more integrity, better professionals, and really pay attention to details that matter, because at the end of the day, that has a significant result. Then there is something said about VAR where he said that the person operating it just failed to do his job. All right, it's here on whether referees should be punished more severely on their mistakes. Said, "I don't know. It is not for me to judge. This is not about someone making a mistake and we crucify them. It's trying to do the best altogether to have a fairer sport and make the decision process simpler, all clearer on communications, and hopefully that will help after what happened last weekend." And then there is where he said about someone failing to do his job. Where is that? I'd love to see that. Where is it? There is where he really hinted about a person failing to do his job, and he said it's not a mistake, it's someone failing to do his job, because you know the basics of a VAR, and you've done this for close to 2-3 seasons in the Premier League. Now, why do you fail to go ahead and redraw those lines when you know you're supposed to be drawing them? So I think for that, Mikel Arteta had a point in all what he said, and that's all what he had to deliver to us in the press conference of Arsenal versus Manchester City. So your thoughts onto what he said are welcome in the comment section below, but the leading story is Emile Smith-Rowe and Reece Nelson ready for City as confirmed by Mikel Arteta. So thank you for watching in. Rokani David is my name. We are going to the Champions League games. After they are done, I think I'll bring you the match reaction of Tottenham Hotspur versus AC Milan, plus Bayern Munich versus PSG being played down in Paris anytime from now. The game is starting. So Rokani David is my name. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. See you later when you guys see me. Not so. That is all what Mikel Arteta had to tell you. Smith Rowe is back. Do you think should make the match squad as Arsenal prepare to take on City? This is where I leave it for now, and it's all in your hands. Bye-bye.